Hey everybody in chat, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, let's get started. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to figure things out here. All right. So thanks for joining my first live stream. I'm going to be rebuilding my Kyosho FW-06. I'm going to basically rebuild the whole front end today. I'm going to take off the axles and replace all the bearings. I'm going to take out the diff. I may or may not take the diff apart itself, but I'm going to take that out. I'm going to re-grease everything. I'm going to put oil on the bearings, and I'm going to just make sure everything's working properly. I am not going to do any setup work at all. I'm basically just cleaning and doing some maintenance today. I think setup needs to be done at the track or beforehand in a full kind of setup environment. So let's go ahead and rebuild it first, and then we'll do a tune later. All right, so everything we need today is going to be a screwdriver. I have this small pry bar to take off the dampers or shocks. I always have trouble with those. I have a wheel nut hex. This is a 2.5 millimeter hex driver. I have the 5 millimeter hex driver as well. That is for the pillow ball collar. I have some JIS bits as well if I wanted to use an electric screwdriver. I have the same 2.5 hex bit here. I have a pair of needle nose pliers, and I have a towel. I'm going to be using Super Lube today. It's a synthetic grease. I've been using that in the last few builds, and I have put it into this plastic syringe here. I kind of prefer this applicator. For the bearings, I'm going to use the Zero Friction Pro Shot Zero Friction. I've been using this for bearings for a while as well. Speaking of bearings, all of the bearings that I'm going to take out of here, they're actually shielded bearings. They're not bad. I just prefer to go with some sealed bearings, rubber sealed bearings instead. I got these from Fast Eddie, and they actually put this kit together for me. I asked them if they had the FW-06 kit. They said they didn't, so they did some research, went through the manual, figured out what bearings we need, and they put this together for me, so I really appreciate that. I have a small parts tray, and the bearings, I'm going to be putting them in this racing container. I have some nitro cleaner in here, and I usually just soak them for a little bit, but I'm not going to reuse them for now. I'm going to replace all the bearings. All right, I have this silicone mat down here. I'm going to put the parts on it. I also am going to remove the dampers, shocks, and I'm going to rebuild them, but I'm not going to rebuild them on stream. That's kind of boring to watch 20 minutes of shock oil settling, so I'm not going to be doing that on stream. All right, so we can get started. First thing I'm going to do is just move all these out of the way. I'm going to start by taking all the wheels off, just so we're working with a flat surface and nothing is going to roll around. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type it in the chat. I will try to answer as we go. All right, next I'm going to take off the wheel hubs off from the arms. So I'm going to need that 5mm first. That's this one right here. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is actually take off the dampers. So it takes any kind of force or pressure off of the arms, and that's what I want. And now I'm going to let me show you what I'm doing. There are these large hex. They're like collars, nuts, whatever you want to call them. And then behind that are the pillow balls. And these are going to be 2.5mm. Going to use this for that. I hope that's not too loud on stream. That out, and this wheel nut here has a little flange here. We need to get behind there, and just going to, it's kind of difficult. I just need to make a little gap and then I pull it off. And keep an eye on this pin right here. This pin is actually a different length than this pin right here. This one's actually a little bit shorter than the one that goes on the wheel hex. So you gotta set those apart. The pillow balls. And this should just come right off, okay? So there's 2 bearings here. Let me do the other side. All right. Let me show you what I just did and what else we're going to be doing. So this is the manual. I downloaded this from the Kyosho website. I'll leave a link when I'm done streaming. So this is the exploded view for the front, and it's the whole entire assembly in front. So we're going to be changing out these two bearings, and they're different sizes, and it's going to be on both sides. We are going to rebuild the dampers, going to take out the diff and just examine it, make sure everything's okay, and I'm going to replace those two bearings as well. And on the front axle, the front is spool, it's actually not a differential. There are two bearings on each side. I'm going to replace those. And when I rebuild the dampers shocks, I'm going to use that diagram for reference. So the count for bearings are going to be 1 5x10x4, 1 5x8x2.5, 2 16x12x4, 2 12x18x4, and 2 10x15x4. So those are bearing counts if you want to follow along. So next I'm going to try to get the bulkhead off. I already know there are bearings here I'm going to change out, and probably just going to come out really easily. I'll do that after I get everything off. Okay, so now I am thinking I need to take off 4 screws for this and just take off the dampers. Take them completely off. There we go. I'm hoping that it's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bulkhead will come off along with the damper stay shock tower, and I don't have to take that off. That's what I'm hoping. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Help you guys see better. So I might need to remove those two as well, because I think this kind of sits on the back of the bulkhead. So let's see. I'm trying to keep track of the screws, what I take out. Okay. These two button heads are in the middle right here. Let me take these two off. These are a little bit shorter. If I wasn't using the camera for the phone for streaming, I would be taking pictures of what I'm doing, but I'm just going to try to remember. Okay, I am going to have trouble reaching these two screws with the damper stay, so I'm going to have to take it off. Okay, let's see what's holding that together. There's two. Those are not screws. I really don't want to take apart the arms. Yeah, that's going to What else can I take off here? All right, this looks like it's also locked on. Okay, these two screws are even shorter. So these two go on the bumper mount. So that's released. Something is still holding the damper stay. So the damper stay screwed onto these two pieces, which is this and this right there. And those are locked down by that screw. So it's kind of holding itself in. I think there's a clip here. There is an E-clip right there, preventing the damper stay from coming out. So I'm going to remove this E-clip right here so I can slide that shaft out. That's the plan. This is really hard to see. That always happens, no worries. If I don't find it, I have extras. But I should be able to find that. So now I can pull this out. I need to release the bumper too. It's kind of one thing after another. So I'm going to take off these 3 screws. Okay. I'm going to put these back right here for now. Okay. So now I can take out this pin. And there's actually a couple clips in here that we have to put back. There's 2 of them. That shims the arm against the bulkhead here. Okay, so this side is free. I just need to do this other side now. Got to take off that. Let me see if anything shakes loose. Yeah, there's one more clip there. All right. I will use my magnet to look for the E-clip for for a second. If I don't find it, I'll just put it on later after stream. And nope. It should be right here somewhere. I don't know exactly where it flew, but it didn't fly far. Hit me right in the chest. All right, let's try to do this one without it flying off. And let's see. I'm trying to do it without it flying off a second time. So bear with me here. I am having a really hard time, but I think I almost got it. I just need to yank it off. Yep, there it goes. Let's hope I didn't lose that one as well. But here we go. All right, there's that. There is the damper stay, and there should be 3 of those. Let's see. There's the third one. To be honest, I'm not sure if I have enough time to put it back together after I take this apart. We will see. I will definitely try. So I'm going to take this wing off right here. Take that off. And I'll just leave the screw on it. Put it right there. Okay, let's see if this comes off. Anything else holding it back? There are 2 set screws right here. Let me see. Yeah, there are 2 set screws right there. So let's see. They are probably 2 millimeters. Let's see. Yes. I don't know if that was holding anything, to be honest. I guess we'll see. Okay, it's starting to move. I didn't need to take those off. That's okay. And it looks like it will help if I took these two off as well. Man, Kyosho, you really make these cars tough to disassemble. By the way, in a future video, I'm going to be doing the rear, and then on one episode, I'm going to replace all of the electronics, receiver servos, and the battery pack. I'm going to go for a 7.4 volt LiPo. Let's see if I can just use a little bit of force. And that is held down by this, but it is not. It should be free. Well, I gotta keep going. Not the right size yet. All right, so let's see. I might have to just change the name of the live stream to Disassembling. Let's see. That is still not moving. What is holding it on? It's going to be this screw, and this screw is connected to the bottom screw. Yep. Okay, so I need another screwdriver. I don't know why that's not coming out. That is such a shame. I can see the axle and the outdrive right there. It actually looks pretty good. Let me show you. I still see a little bit of grease. I don't see too much dirt or grime in there. Still looks pretty clean. So if I cannot get the whole thing out, I'm just going to leave it along with those two bearings. And the only thing I'm going to be able to accomplish today, looks like, is going to be changing out the 4 bearings on each side of the hub. And that's okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start putting everything back, and then we'll just change those bearings. Start with these grip screws. Very interesting assembly that Kyosho has here. I've taken the phaser apart, and that is nowhere near as difficult as this. Oh, I didn't notice this, but this actually might be, I don't want to say droop, but this actually might be something that is a tuning screw that makes some adjustments to the angle of the lower arms. I'll have to check on that. So I bought this, I believe, in 2020, I think. And then when I might have bought it in 2019, and when COVID started, I didn't really go to the track too much. So I put this in storage, and I just took this back out a couple weeks ago. So I haven't done any maintenance to it at all, but I did take it to the track twice already, and this car runs beautifully. I really, really like this car. All right, so here is the difficult part. So I'm gonna have to rebuild this sans the, I think it went this way, without the eclipse. I'm trying to say eclipse. Did it go this way? Let me just double check. Just look at the diagram. Yep, that is correct. I appreciate you guys watching and joining me today. I see there's 5 of us watching. If you don't mind, you can type in the chat where you guys are from and where you're watching from. I'm sure you guys going to be likely global instead of local to me, because it's already midnight where I am. So let me know in the chat where you guys are from. Okay. And the arms go this way. And there are 4 shims that go with it. And they go I should have paid attention when I was taking this apart, because I have no idea where these things go. I know one goes here, and one goes here. You know what? Let me zoom in again. Sorry, guys. Still learning to work with the camera and the angles and everything. So maybe you can see better what I'm doing. Right there. There are these clips that go through, and it's very not obvious where they go, but I believe one goes right here, I think. Yeah. Okay, so why is this? I'm probably, oh, you know what? You know what would be good? If it went through the, shock tower. So that one would be here. And the next one. Probably be right here. And then the last one. Where the heck am I building this wrong? Well, let's see. I'm just going to use this one. Right. So I don't have that E-clip that goes in the back. So I'm gonna have to look for that later. But we can certainly put these screws back first. These flathead screws go here. Let's see. There we go. Right. Let's put this side back. I know I won't reach. This one doesn't belong here. There we go. The second one goes right behind there. And the third one goes here, and then the E-clip. And one of those black clips escaped. 1, 2, 3. No, they're all here. 1, 2, and 3. So it's all here on this side. So I just lost the E-clips, but I will replace those later. Okay, now we can get down to some business. Let's see. Let's put these back together. This is metal on metal. So I'm going to use some black grease from Team Associated. I'm going to put a drop in there. Can't even see. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to take the shorter pin, which is going to be this one. And if you look here, there's this side where the two holes are flat, and then there's two sides where there's groove, and we need to thread the pin through that. So first we're going to thread this a little bit through the axle, then drive it through the dog bone and make sure it goes all the way through, otherwise this will not fit into the hub. Okay, I am ready for this side. And I'm ready for this side. So it's actually going to be this one. Yep. It's going to be this one. This faces out to the wheel. This connects to the steering links right there. So I'm going to take this bearing out. And so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to change the bearings on either side of the front axle there, but that's okay. These bearings are perfectly fine. If your car is new, you really don't have to replace them. Even if your car is a little bit dirty and these bearings are not as smooth as you'd like them to be, you can still just take them out and clean them. You don't have to replace them. You only have to replace them if you can clearly see they're broken. I just prefer rubber sealed bearings on on wheels. So, going to find the correct bearings. And it's just going to be a 1-to-1 match. I don't think I need the caliper or anything. There's a lot of bearings here. There's 21 bearings. All right, let's see. Okay, that is that one. And then this is this one right there. So that's the difference. These are the ones that came with the car. These are the shielded ones. And these are the rubber sealed ones. Okay. So this one goes on this side. And this one goes on this side. And while I have it here, I'm going to apply some grease. So that one's ready to go. I'm going to put this axle back, make sure that pin is still there, I didn't fall out. Okay, so it's this way. So if I put the correct pin in there, it will thread all the way through, and you can see that hole. And then you can put the longer pin in there and put the wheel nut back on. So that's how you put it back together. All right. Okay. Let's do the other side. this one, and I believe this is the other one. Okay. This needle applicator is really easy to use. I mean, it's effortless. Okay. Let's clean that off. Dog bone. All right. Okay. I'll show you what I'm doing. Put that through there. And put it through that. And make sure it goes all the way through and it's flush. Then we're going to put that through the hub. And that hole is showing. Put the pin through. And put the wheel nut back. There we go. And that's it. Now we're ready to put this back together. Okay, let me first put these away. I'm gonna put these bearings away. I got like 20 bearings right here. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can see it now. There's a lot of bearings. Okay, and now I'm going to put a drop of the black grease into the out drive right there. And I have to do a few things. I need to make sure this dog bone goes into the out drive. Let me get that link out of the way first. Like this. I probably put a little too much in there. Yeah, I put way too much in there. Hard to see when everything, whoops, hard to see when everything is black. All right, okay, here we go. So now I need to put the pillow balls in and through the arms right there. This part is a little bit tricky. You kind of have to be at the right angle. Otherwise it won't go back in. And you actually might damage the arm. But I think I have it locked in there. Let me use the other one. This kind of suspension actually is new to me. I've never had a car that had pillow balls before. This is my first one. Sorry, let me zoom back out a little bit. Okay. And while I'm here, I'm just going to put the link back on and put these giant nuts back and this. Okay. This screw is from here. Let me put that back. I know the long ones were in the middle. Okay, let's do this side. Same thing. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, zoomed in too much, but you can see right there. That is the out drive. Drop a little bit of grease in there. Okay, and this end is going to go in there. And I'm going to use the pillow balls through here and connect it to the upper and lower arms. And this is going to be the 2.5 millimeter. Let's try to keep this place clean. Just want to make sure it's still in the shot here. Let's see. Nope. Let me zoom out. Okay, there we go. All right, and that's that. Oops. Wasn't paying attention. I was not paying attention. The dog bone came out, so I need to undo this. Where did it go? Probably right in front of me. Right. We're almost done. I have a lot to learn about live streaming. I think I needed to do a lot more prep work, and I probably need to do a dry run of what I'm going to do before I actually do it, because that actually kind of became a little bit of a disaster, not being able to show you guys what I said I was going to show you. So I'm going to need to work on that. Okay, let's put this back. Take out these 3 screws. I definitely need to work on the angles and keeping things in frame, because I have no idea that several times during the stream, looks like what I was doing was outside of camera view, so you guys didn't really see it. So that's my fault, and I'll work on that. I'll work on the table layout. I'll work on the maybe a different camera angle instead of coming straight down. I'll try something a little bit different. But I'm glad I streamed anyway. I think I had a really good time. I learned a lot about the car, and I also learned a lot about streaming and how things usually don't go the way you plan it to go, and I don't think that's uncommon. probably goes for a lot of things we do. I don't remember what this is at all. Is this something I broke? All right. Oh, 3 more screws on the bottom. Hey guys, there we go. I put it back together. So I was not able to take the bulkhead off and examine the front axle and re-grease it. That's unfortunate. I also wasn't able to change the bearings as well. But I was able to change the bearings inside the 2 hubs. I have a few more things I need to do after the stream. I need to figure out what this is. I really think I broke something, but I'll figure it out. And I also need to find those E-clips and put those back so the arms don't come flying off. All right, so thanks for joining me. If you have a chance to leave a comment below, if you're just watching this as a video, not as the live stream, give me some feedback on the camera angles and the flow, the sound, what else you want to see on a live stream. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you guys again very soon.